This is Brad Huff again with the Texas Association of Golf Coaches, and I'm here with Mike McGraw, head coach of the Baylor's men's team. And Coach McGraw, I want to thank you for taking time to sit down with us for a few minutes.
Sure.
Brand new to coaching in high school in Texas this year is the ability to coach everywhere on the golf course. That's something you guys have done for years, and we're all kind of finding our way with how to do that. We've all come up with what we think works for us, but wanted to ask you a few questions kind of in that umbrella. So what are things that you think are important during the tournament that you'll do as a head coach as you're coaching your kids on the golf course?
I think one of the most important things I can do is just learn about my players. So I think by walking either an entire round with or several holes in a row with a player, I can better find out their tendencies, what they are when they're happy, when they had some problems on the golf course. I just want to know tendencies and things that are happening to a player. So I think the main thing I want to do is learn who they are and how they react to things.
Right. Interesting. Does your approach change from course to course? So if you're at one course, what you do during the round, is it different than what you might do at a different course?
I don't think so. I think the course wouldn't make any difference for me. I think the goal is to figure out how to know your players as well as you can, figure out who they are and how we can shoot the lowest score we can. And I think the lowest score at Pine Valley is relative to the lowest score at a municipal golf course in Dallas. There are different difficulties of golf courses. We still want to shoot the lowest score. So I'm trying to figure out who's going to learn these things as we go through, and the best experiences for learning that is in competition. So I need to be out there watching them.
What do you feel is the role of your assistant coach during the round? How do you divide up your duties, or how do y'all play the two-man team?
Well, it's actually the same role I have. He's just going to be doing it with another player. So I really want to give my assistant coach a lot of latitude to be who he is with his own personality. I don't expect him to be like me. I don't even expect him to coach like me at all. I just want him to be trying to accomplish the same things, which is learn about the players, figure out how to get them to shoot as low as we can, and learn the lessons that we need to learn. So I want him to be his own coach, and I don't want it to be anything dictated by me, other than, I guess, if we've got to hand him out boxed lunches, he's going to be doing that, not me. that's part of that deal.
Okay, most of us, some of us are lucky enough to have assistants at all, and then some of us are lucky enough that they get out of school at the same time we do and go to the golf tournament with us. The majority of coaches in high school either don't have an assistant or they don't both get to travel to the golf course on tournament days together. Given these limits of only one coach, if you only have one coach on the course at one time, what kind of guidance would you give a high school coach is the most efficient way to manage five kids on the golf course at one time with just one person?
So you're talking about the person that's actually doing the coaching?
Yeah, we only have one coach on the course instead of where you guys are allowed, you have your assistant with you.
The first thing, if the assistant gets to come to the tournament.
No, he doesn't get to come to
he doesn't even come to the tournament.
Yeah.
So yeah, if it's just the one coach there, I think that some coaches are going to be more, it's going to appeal to them to be able to actually go out and see more kids play. So they might watch one kid for 3 or 4 holes and another for 5 or 6 holes, or they might stand and watch kids come through critical holes and see how they handle that and help them, coach them. I personally like to walk with one guy the whole way, so I get to know everything I can about that player, and I'd like to be his 15th club. I'd love to just be able to help him shoot the lowest score he can. But I know everybody has their own personal preference, so I think the best use for me is to get I think since you're only having one coach, you might split it up and go 6 or 7 holes with somebody at a time, maybe. But that's probably what most coaches would do. I probably still want to go with one player.
Interesting. All right, so changing topics here a little bit with regards to how you handle individual kids on the golf course. Scenario is that you've got a golfer out there and they're struggling to stay positive. Mm-hmm. You can tell they're really down on themselves, and you know that you've got a piece of wisdom or one little thing that you might know that'll help center them and get them back to right. But they say, "No, just leave me alone. I don't want to talk to you." What do? Do you leave them alone?
I think in that case you do leave them alone. I think then there's an opportunity after the tournament to talk to him about why he was defensive about you being around, and there might be something that is really holding him back that you can help him with. You just need to let him know it's not about anything other than me trying to help you be the best you can be. So I think I wouldn't mess with him that day. He's probably struggling, and I'm not going to make it any better that day. So I would wait until we got back home, and then when we had some time together, I would spend some time with him on the golf course so he could see that I could actually help him and maybe have an opportunity to do it in a future tournament. But I certainly wouldn't want to compromise the team score any more than I had to that day. And if I'm grading on his emotions that day, I should not be around him. So
I can understand that. On a similar note, you've got a golfer that you've worked with that you've put just the smallest little swing change in, and they've been working on it, and it's been working really well, and he's had success with it. And then during the tournament, it's kind of fallen away, and he's back in his old swing. And you know, this one small thing, the fix that you've been working on would be something that would help him, and he's really starting to struggle. Do you bring that up to him, given that it's kind of a technical or a swing thought issue, or would you leave that alone?
I would probably bring it up to him if it was something that he was able to handle before. If we'd done it at home, I probably would try to not get very technical at all at a tournament, unless he was a technician himself. I mean, if it was something like, you've got a player like Charles Howell would love to have something technical to work on, and probably like Bubba Watson wouldn't do very well at all. So I think you have extremes. You figure out who your player is, you know his personality, and you can figure out what may or may not work for him. My tendency is to think that it would probably be okay to say something to him if you had done it before at home and in practice.
Interesting. So, and I think I know the answer to this, but that you're going to give, but I'll ask you anyway. Are there any stats that you watch during the round, given you guys as coaches have access to not only live scoring, but also some statistical data? Is there anything you or your assistant are kind of keeping your eye on during a round?
Well, I think the most important stat is what you shoot. I mean, I don't know how anything could be more important than that. I'm not that concerned with how they get to that score, as long as they can get to an acceptable number. And I just want to pay attention to things and work on things and focus on things, especially at home, that I know will have an impact on their overall score and their enjoyment of the game. So probably don't look at anything other than I might look at decisions he makes in critical times. I might look at, decisions he makes that have been devastating, and why were they devastating. We can talk about that afterwards, but I don't think 9 out of 14 fairways or hitting, hit it in 3 bunkers and got up and down once. I'm not sure what that tells me. I think that looking at situational golf and watching how he handles critical situations is real important. So I would probably, gives me some talking points and gives me some things to talk about. Talking that you hit 9 out of 14 fairways, I don't know what he or I are going to get out of knowing that. You might, but you might not.
I've been given that most of your answers, I think, related more to like a post-round analysis. I'm assuming that means that there's probably not a lot that you're looking at statistically inside during the round itself as it's going on.
Right. I like to, as you said earlier, keep a guy centered. I like to make sure that his mind is in a good spot, that he's moving forward, that he's kind of got the foot on the gas pedal, not so much tapping the brakes. I want to see a guy with a moving forward kind of attitude. And so I won't say the same thing to every kid, but I'll hopefully know the right things to say to a kid to get him in the right frame of mind. And that would be my goal, because the hay is in the barn. Once you're at the tournament, you're not going to do a whole lot to change the kind of golf they're going to play. You have to minimize damage when they're really, really struggling, and figure out how you can get them to continue to think positively and move forward. And that's what I probably try to do with them most of the time.
Is there anything that you do that's ritual or that you believe is important for your guys leading up to the tournament? So in the hours right before or in the minutes before they tee off, is there something special that you feel is a kind of a deal breaker that you will always do?
I think that it's important that what they do is very consistent. If you think about doing things a lot different at the state tournament than you've done it at the 8 tournaments previous to that, then I think it's going to make the state tournament stand out as something way too important to them. So whatever it is that you do, whatever it is that you pick out pre-round, it would be something that's pretty standard, pretty consistent, that we do it a lot. It's not unusual to them. I don't want to introduce to them the day of an important event anything that's totally unusual, because I think it will shock their system. They already know it's an important tournament. They already know it's something that they want to do well at. So I don't think you have to re-emphasize that. So what you want to do is make it as normal as you possibly can. And we all know it's important. And you're not going to, if it's the state tournament, they're going to know that it's not the, so-and-so school invitational. They know it's not that, but we'd like to make the preparation for that event to be as normal and comfortable and generic as possible, even though we know it's an important event.
Are there any things that you do immediately after either a very positive round that you guys have had or a negative round? And if so, are those different, or are they always the same, or is it just we don't really do anything necessarily special? We get back in the van and go eat.
Yeah, what I like to do, if it's a one-day tournament, I think I always want to let the emotion die off. Whether it's they're really elated, they just played amazing, or if they're really deflated, they just had a terrible day. I don't want the immediate emotion to be what I'm going to talk about. I want that to kind of cool off. So usually if it's a one-day tournament, we're going to be leaving. Hey guys, all right, good job today. We did the best we could. Let's get in the van and go on to dinner, and we'll go have dinner and then talk about it after and break it down after that point. But I think the emotion is way too raw to do it right away. I think you've got to give it some time.
Is live scoring is kind of starting to creep up out of the ground in the high schools, especially in Texas, in different forms, both in junior and in high school events. Is this something that you think is beneficial to you as a college coach, to be able to see high school tournaments as they're happening? Whereas before, you would be able to get the scores, if you called a coach or a coach emailed them to you. Certainly the junior tours, that stuff's on the internet. But is it helpful to you recruiting-wise to be able to see more high school scores in general and also in real time as they happen?
I think seeing more high school scores is better. We're more adept at and it gets us to other tournaments because we've been watching this kid's results and they're still good. I've got to go see this kid. So that part's good because there's more information. The real-time scoring is great because I can see trends that are developing. I can see, a kid bogeys 5 holes in a row. He might have been 1 under going to that, so he shot 4 over, but I don't see how he got to 4 over. I kind of see this way. He had kind of a stretch there where he didn't, have a good trend during a round. So I like to see the hole by hole for sure. So I don't that's a good thing actually. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's good. The couple more questions. What do you do? Golf is an individual sport. When I compete in golf, I'm competing, as you've said, against myself first, the golf course second, and then my competitors third. And so I inherently don't require you to set a screen for me or throw me a pass or anything like that for me to play well for our team. So what are some things that you guys do here at Baylor to create a team environment inside of this individual sport that we all coach?
I think, I've talked to a lot of coaches about this in college, and that's one of the great challenges you have. And it's part of the reason that you sometimes recruit athletes, because they've played on a baseball team, a basketball team, a football team, and they understand the team. It's kind of great to rally around your teammates. Golf is different because it is an individual sport, and you play it that way all your life, and every tournament you play is an individual. Even the tournament with your team is an individual sport because only your score, it cannot be affected by anything else or anybody else in the team. So, having said that, we all do, as coaches, we all try to create something maybe in workouts or create something in team bonding activities, something, go to movies together, whatever. We try to do some things where they realize we're all in this together. We have some challenging moments. I know we have a lot of different things. You just have to work at it. It's not as natural as it is in other sports where I throw
lends itself to teamwork.
I can run a great route as a receiver all I want, and if a quarterback just isn't ever going to get it to me, then I'm probably not going to look that good as a receiver. But in golf, so I need that quarterback to improve his skills, or I need to be really good at what I'm doing to react to his passes or whatever it is. I don't know anything about football. I just know that players have effect on each other a lot more than they do in golf. So in golf, the one great impact you can have as a player is to show the dedication, the commitment, the work ethic, the grind, whatever it is you do, that your teammates look at you and go, wow, that guy really wants to play well for us. That's a huge value in the team concept.
What is your take on, or do you guys have a kind of a formal program on nutrition and fitness?
Well, we have a trainer, like all other schools have a trainer, and our trainer has been very good about talking to the guys about the importance of nutrition. their coach doesn't always get it because I eat fruits and vegetables, but I like ice cream too, and that's just a bad thing. But I seem to overcome that. I try to work out harder. I don't think you can out-train nutrition, but I sure try. And then I think that I think most trainers at colleges now have a background in nutrition of some sort and understand how important it is. That the expression "you can't out-train nutrition" is probably true. And I just think that we don't have anything probably any special compared to any other schools. It's just every school has gone to the value of working out. And the workouts are a very good time to build that team you were talking about. You can do some things in the workout realm that will build team atmosphere and team unity. And so I think it's important. The trainers are important at any school.
That's a really good answer. The other thing that's starting to kind of creep up in high school and in colleges are pull carts. And there seems to be kind of a dichotomy. Either you love them or you hate them. We've had people tell us there are studies that, it's starting to come out about how much it's beneficial to your back and whatnot. What's your take on that?
There's a school on the West Coast, I won't mention them, but they had a physio, I guess they call it a physio, a guy that did a study, and and it's a pretty smart school and that type of thing. But the idea was
school?
That
red school?
Yeah, that red school. And they said that for sure it's a disadvantage to carry your golf bag in competition. And I haven't gotten there yet, but I may get there. If they can show me, I haven't seen the study yet. Maybe I need to read the study. I am all for being the best we can be, and if I think the pull cart doesn't look right, I need to get past that if it's better. And I think everybody should, but I'm not convinced yet. I don't know. They're 19 years of age, but anyway.
Well, you got a brother right here in that. So, and the last question here: How can high school coaches assist college coaches with the recruiting process when we've got kids that maybe aren't able to play on the upper level junior tours, either regionally or nationally? Are you one that prefers contact from a high school coach, or are you one that prefers that the kid does the contact, or some mix? Or in what fashion can high school coaches help you guys better to connect you with a potential player that maybe isn't going to hit your radar because he's playing a bunch of outside tours?
Really like a mix. I love it when a player will contact me and then he'll say, "You could certainly talk to my coach, find out other things about me." I haven't met very many coaches that'll say a lot of bad things about a player, but I really appreciate it when a coach will alert me to, "This young man's had trouble with this," or this young man is way overlooked. These are things he does that are amazing. He's awesome. So it's nice to find the background information on a player that I wouldn't necessarily get otherwise. I think that high school coaches are invaluable in giving you character reference, because I think a high school coach is pretty smart. If he's got a kid who's a real problem, or actually wouldn't be a very good team situation, and the coach understands my reputation as a guy giving a recommendation that's on the line. I've got to be honest here, but I also know a coach wants to be loyal to his players the best way he knows how. So I just think it's important to be honest and upfront, but I think you can get great information from coaches, and so I want to hear from them for sure. I was a high school coach for 11 years, so
you were a really good one too.
A lot of communication with college coaches.
And appreciate all of the golf knowledge you've given us today. And if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you a couple personal questions here.
Okay.
Dream foursome. Who's Mike McGraw want to play with in his dream foursome?
Well, I'm going to play with my dad, who passed away 5 years ago. I'm going to play with my dad because I only got to play a few rounds with him through the years, and he was a really great player. And Ben Hogan, and Jack Nicklaus, and Ricky Fowler. Ricky Fowler because Ricky played a lot of golf with me when I was a coach at Oklahoma State, and he got me kind of interested in playing golf again. My dad, obviously, for the influence he had on me, and Ben Hogan and Jack Nicklaus were my two favorite players as a kid.
That's a pretty good foursome right there. If you can only play one golf course, what golf course?
Prairie Dunes in Hutchinson, Kansas.
Prairie Dunes.
There's no course like it. That place is unbelievable. And I realize there might be better places, but I'm just mesmerized by that place.
Better is only in your heart, right?
Yeah, it's great.
You can go on vacation anywhere. Where do you go?
Vacation anywhere. I'm going to go to Hawaii because that's where my wife wants to go.
Smart man.
Yeah, but I'm not a Hawaii guy, but she is, so we're going there.
When mama's happy, everybody's happy.
That's it.
And you can only see one concert for the rest of your life. Who are you going to go see?
I'm going to go see I'm gonna go see Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan.
I know, that's crazy, isn't it?
No, it's
I don't
good.
look like a Bob Dylan guy, do you? Do I?
That's so good.
I really did. I like Bob Dylan's lyrics. I thought he kind of, his lyrics and his music really did affect a couple of different generations for sure. Pretty amazing.
Man, that is great. Coach McGraw,
Yeah.
I cannot thank you enough for
My
taking
pleasure.
the time to
Thank you very
speak
much,
with
Brad.
us.
It was great. Had a good
You
time.
put on an absolutely phenomenal clinic today. One
Thank
of the
you.
best I've been to in 20 years
Thank
of coaching.
you. I appreciate that.
And I can't encourage anybody out there enough that the next time Coach McGraw has this, that you're missing out if you're not here. So we want to thank you very much and good luck to you guys this spring.
Appreciate it. Thank you.